Caterpillar's profits increase, yet its wages decrease. Is this a market failure? Is it fair? What does it mean for labor relations? I'm Allen Barton. Stand by for Front Page. Joining me in studio, Doug Altner, analyst and instructor at the Ayn Rand Center for Individual Rights, and Terry Jones, associate editor for Investors Business Daily. So, despite earning a record $4.9 billion in profit last year, with the expectation of higher future earnings, Caterpillar is insisting on a 6-year wage freeze for most of its workers in Joliet, Illinois. Terry, what's going on here? Do these guys earn a fair wage? Well, fair is whose definition, but why is Caterpillar doing this? Why wouldn't it try to increase the pay of the workers and assuming also their morale while it's making these huge profits?
Well, it's quite possible that they will come back at some point with a slightly improved offer, but it sounds pretty much to me like they're set in concrete. You know, the main reason is they work in a very uncertain global environment right now, and a lot of their sales are overseas, and they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what's happening in Europe. Europe is frozen in fear over its crisis. Former third world countries that form a large part of their market are now questionable, having recessions themselves. So they're not sure that their sales are going to continue booming, and yet if they sign a contract agreement with their workers, that could be 6 years where they're frozen in with increases in contract wages, and that would be could be a disaster for them if their business dries up. So they're just trying to play it safe, even though right now their profits are pretty strong.
Doug, the New York Times article on this noted that there's been significant increase in executive compensation at the same time because of the profits, because it's generally motivated by that, but then they're going to the workers to say we need to fix your salaries. Now, of course, it would be the right of the company, and the board can make its decision about what executives get paid or not paid, and shareholders can raise hell and all that stuff. But in terms of trying to manage labor relations when profits are high and the executives are cashing in, and then they say, listen, we got to fix your salaries at this low wage because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. It's not like they're going to give away their bonuses in the future. So what do you think in terms of the relationship aspect of it, of managing good relations?
Well, there's a lot of issues raised here, and I think the first thing is to recognize executives are really important for a business. A good executive could make a difference between whether a company is making $100 million, and a bad executive could cause the company to lose $100 million, which would include maybe costing all these workers who are actually out there producing things their jobs if the executive makes bad decisions. And Caterpillar, like any other company that's out to make a profit, wants to get the best executive for the job, and to do that they have to offer a really attractive pay package to attract the best executives.
What about the thought, though, you'll often hear people argue like, well, look, back 30, 40 years ago, the average, ratio of executive to worker salary was much less than it is now, that there's been a bubble in executive compensation over the last 30 years while real wages for your average worker have stayed fixed. Is that something that should be handled, or is that just the nature of the way businesses change?
Well, I think it's the nature of the way businesses should be changing, and executive compensation, like any other compensation, should be negotiated on a market. And it could be, corporations are much more complicated nowadays. They're much harder to run. Much more is at stake. And so we need to offer even better pay incentives to attract the best people.
What do you think of that? I mean, obviously, you can make a recent argument that there's been more demand placed on executives in a more stringent market. Of course, their salary goes up. But what about the idea of perception? Because a lot of times, the perception is reality. If the workers perceive that the executives are living high off the hog while screwing them over on their wages, what's going to come from that is very real.
Yeah. Sometimes I think executives going into these negotiations are maybe a little less insensitive to the perception part of it. But the fact of the matter remains, at least according to somebody who was quoted in the New York Times piece on this, the wages for the Caterpillar workers are about 26% higher than comparable wages in other manufacturing industries in the area. So they're going to have a tough time arguing that they're being treated unfairly. They're actually paid quite well for what they do. The other thing is, yes, it's true that executives get bonuses. They get big bonuses when they make big profits, which is how the shareholders reward talented executives. But guess what? If their company goes into the toilet, they start having problems, they start losing money, those bonuses will go away or largely go away. And that's the reality. So, it's not.
But it would be a valid consideration. Like the shareholders could make a consideration that says, look, it's valuable to our business. We analyze our business and we say it's valuable for workers to know that executives don't make XYZ percentage more than they do under any circumstance, and that there's a bonus pool that maybe goes to the wage earners as well, your average factory worker. They would have the right to look at the business and say, we want to manage the ratio between what your average worker works and what the executive works so that everyone feels they're on the same team, and this improves morale in our business. Completely valid decision making, right?
No, not really. I mean, the way I look at it, yes. I mean, the workers do have a right to negotiate with the executive team, who presumably represent the shareholders. But the fact of the matter is, there's only so much resources in a company, and those resources get apportioned to executives, they get apportioned to the cost of doing business, they get apportioned to shareholders, and they get apportioned to the workers. And frequently the workers make the argument that they're underserved and underpaid, but that's a very difficult argument to make, because it seems that Caterpillar is able to make quite a decent profit with the workers it has and at the wages it pays.
All right, moving from Caterpillar to Target. Recently, it's been reported that around 10,000 people in Los Angeles are protesting the opening of a Walmart in Chinatown. I said Target. We were talking about Walmart. After the LA City Planning Commission approved the project. So this is a classic. Doug, I'll go to you on this in a similar manner to the Caterpillar strikers. They're saying that this is about jobs, that Walmart and Target, which also has a lot more success in Los Angeles in terms of being approved, they do away with jobs. This is the classic argument, because they come in and they just obliterate all the small jobs because you can just go and get what you want there. Any thoughts on this?
Well, a growing economy is constantly having jobs lost and new jobs being created. Probably thousands of new jobs are created each week, and they displace thousands of old jobs. Just think about examples. The digital photography is now replacing old-fashioned photographs. Companies like Kodak are going out of business. Jobs at places like Netflix are replacing jobs at places like Blockbuster. And sure, jobs at places like Walmart are now going to be displacing jobs at old mom and pop stores. But this is just part of a growing economy. The only alternative would be economic stagnation, one where our standard of living does not rise, one where we do not see new innovations like the iPhone or like everyday low prices at Walmart. So I think we should recognize this is just part of a growing economy.
Terry, Walmart doesn't have a big presence in Los Angeles. Target sort of was able to, I don't know how Target got in there, perhaps and you can tell us, but this would be, as far as I know, one of the rare Walmarts near Los Angeles, at least the central part of it.
Yeah, it would. There is a Walmart in central LA that got built before the alarm was raised over the presence of Walmart. To personalize this, I live just outside of Los Angeles in a community that has not one, not two, but 3 Walmarts, and 2 of them are super Walmarts. Now, they don't all serve my community. What happens is people make the trek from Los Angeles to my community to go to Walmart. Those Walmarts employ a lot of people. And it's
the whole thing is that they say, but what kind of wages, what kind of health care, blah, 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 blah. But, as Doug said, look, the economy moves. It offers the jobs that it offers at the wages that it offers it. If you try, what are you going to say? Like, you can't put Walmart in so that mom and pop can stay in business. How many jobs are cost by that?
It would cost lots of jobs. And the unforeseen part of this is that we talked about everyday low prices. Everyday low prices saves the entire economy, at the average person, thousands of dollars a year. You say, well, I don't go to Walmart, so I don't save money. Oh, yes, you do save money, because they put pressure on other producers to cut their prices. And
everyday low prices is a large source of stuff being made overseas, and it's hilarious when you're hearing all the political talk about outsourcing. Bain invested in businesses that outsource, and you're just going like, come on, do you like your $2 dishwasher? Yeah. It's crazy what's going on. It's just like nutty. All right, for Terry and Doug, I'm Allen Barton. You've been watching Front Page.